Welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind with your hosts, Jay Harmon and Sally Barnard. Jay and Sally have always wondered what the inspiration is that drives others to create and express their art. Inside the Artist's Mind, we'll dive into the mind of the artist and teach us more than we ever knew. Enjoy the show!
Hi, and welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind. My name is Jay Harmon, and this is my co-host, Sally Barnard.
Hi.
And we are artists, and we are here to talk to artists, talk about art, and look at art and talk to artists and how they are inspired to do their art. And this is what our program is pretty much going to be about. And we are very, very privileged today to have as our first guest Miss Michelle Chin, who is a professional artist, and I would like to introduce her. Okay, and say hello, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Michelle. Nice to have you as our first guest on the show today.
I am truly honored. Thank you.
And if I could just say that we are looking for fellow artists of
Yes.
any kind to come in and maybe come into the cafe, or we can also do this on the air by Zoom. I'm not very technical,
That's right.
but we can do it by Zoom.
You don't have to come into the studio. You can just share your artwork from home, and we can talk to you over Zoom on the air. And so you don't have to feel obligated to come here to Boca Raton. Wherever you are, this could be anywhere, we can talk to you online.
And luckily enough, we have Michelle in the studio with us
We
today.
do. Our
I'm
first
so
guest
excited
is
to
right
be
here with
so
us.
we're going to be doing some interviewing.
And I also want to say, if you have any questions for us or for Michelle today, you can call us at 888-994-4995. And we'll be more than happy to try to answer your questions. Okay, so
as we would
without
say,
further
on with
ado,
the show, right? On with the show.
So what we would like to do is to start with Michelle by showcasing a little bit of her artwork.
Thank you.
I believe we have some on the screen, correct? That's coming up.
Well, some of my, let's see what they put on there.
Yeah, her artwork. Can we put that up?
I like to do a lot of still lifes,
She's a still life artist.
but I
And-
also do other. I actually love to do anything. If you put it in front of me.
That was my
I love to
question,
draw it
Michelle, while
or
we're waiting
paint
for it to come up on
Yeah.
the screen. I was very intrigued because you do a lot of fruit that you're drawing. But my question to you at this point would be, because I don't do that, mine just comes from a different way. Here we go, we're
There we
seeing
go.
that. Do you
That
have
is-
that, you have that fruit placed?
Okay, folks, that is a painting, not a photograph.
I love to do photorealism. So I've always been a very technical person, and it's harder for me to do abstract art. So when I see something, I just see it,
Yeah,
and I want to recreate it like the way God made
Yeah,
it.
I hear you. That's what I do. I try to make more realism than
right,
abstract.
and I see some of your art. And your artwork
Yeah.
is amazing
Oh,
too, as well.
thank you.
both of
Which
you.
is
So-
very strange because, well, it's not strange, but we all have a different way of
We do.
painting, and
That's
that's
right.
what's going to make the show so fascinating.
That's what is great about
It's
art.
not
that
necessarily just
no two people do the same thing.
exactly, and we're going to also have on the show artists of any kind, because that includes singers and dancers. But each of the three of us has a different way of painting, so that's very
Exactly.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'm also an actor and model, and I've incorporated. I mean, some of my artwork. I take time away from my painting, and I do acting, and and it all comes out of me creatively. I guess I just have to sometimes be inspired to do, painting.
Okay, so
versus-
you are an artist in more ways than just visual art.
Yes.
Okay.
I love to sing. I love to dance. I love to express myself in different ways.
You know what? We will probably have you back showcasing one of your other talents.
We'll see.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you have a
thanks.
preference out of anything that you do?
I think my main passion has always been acting. I started very young as an actor and model. And as a teenager, I grew. But I also always expressed myself through drawing and painting. I was in high school. I won a Congressional Art Award. My pencil drawing was featured in the halls of Congress for 1 year.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wow.
So all the Congress people and going through the halls of Congress, it was displayed there for 1 year, and that was through the Congressional Art Award program.
You said that was graphite?
Yes, it was graphite and charcoal. It was a portrait. It was a distorted portrait. Yes,
Okay.
I didn't bring that today because it's somewhere in the archives.
Do you
but
still do portraits at all?
I do. If someone comes to me and they ask, I do have some maybe in the commercial break. I'll
So you
find
will
some.
commission portraits. So if you
Yes.
need a portrait made, we have someone here who can
Yes, I do. I'll do pencil portraits as well as painting. But I do love oils. I love acrylics. I've just started getting more into acrylics because of the medium. I've found it's easier to. Sometimes with the oils you have to let them sit, but if you have something on your mind and you want to get it out, it's easier to do.
So what would you
acrylics.
say that would inspire you? I mean, you're doing fruit, which is beautiful, and yet you do portraits, and then, because I do abstract, so I have no idea what's going on with you.
Right.
But what inspires you? Do you see something, or you see a face, or how do you?
I do. Well, sometimes artist inspiration is obviously it's a tricky thing. You have a whole show about it, but for me, being inspired also requires diligence, and I cannot just wait to be inspired because
Right. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And you have to sometimes just
exactly. So
work on something, and then something eventually will come.
Yes.
But it doesn't have to be right now.
Exactly, Jay. Sometimes I feel like as an artist, I'm just I have nothing in my mind. I'm a blank, and I sit down in front of a canvas or even a piece of paper with
Right.
some colored pencils or watercolor paints or anything, and then I start, and then all of a sudden it comes. So I think part of being inspired is practicing diligence. If you're a writer, I've heard some of the best techniques is to get up and write every day. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
painting's the
Just
same,
keep-
acting's the same.
Just keep at it.
Yes.
And don't give it up.
And I feel
That's
very
something.
much it's your passion. If you follow your passion, you cannot go wrong.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You
I feel
always-
very strongly about that. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Follow your passion.
Yeah.
So
Do what you love and love what you do.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And you'll never fail that way.
exactly. So to get back to your question about fruit,
Right.
I love that fruit is alive. I mean, fruit is something that nourishes you.
Right.
It enhances your spirit. And there are always some fruits that are in the back of my mind. My next painting I've planned is a pomegranate. And
Pomegranate,
I
wow.
will think about it for a while. I haven't done it yet, but I've been inspired by either hearing something. I know pomegranates are good luck, and I've felt a calling to it. So now my next thing will be a pomegranate, whether I make it really big or really a small.
So you
smaller
work on
painting.
different size
Yes.
art.
Yes.
That's
I do.
interesting to me because I can see you, maybe you're in Publix or one of the grocery stores, and but you'll see something. I feel that your eyes will go to something and you get inspired by that. That's why I
Yeah.
was interested in the fact that you were talking about fruit and that you
Yeah.
can do faces.
Yeah, you
Right.
can
So-
you can be inspired anywhere you go, and I think you have to just look for it.
You have to be looking for it.
Yeah.
But you'll find it.
Ask
it's
and you
there.
shall
I mean,
receive.
it's-
Look for it and you will find. So when you're
Right.
anywhere, you go out in nature or you go to the grocery store, you can find inspiration wherever you go.
it's everywhere.
And there's interesting
everywhere. There's,
faces, there's interesting people, interesting fruits.
It kind of catches your eye,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I am abstract, so this is kind of, I obviously something is inspiring me,
Yeah.
but a lot of my art is it's abstract. You're not quite sure what it is. But I can see what you're saying. I mean, I could be walking outside and I see a tree. And I often wonder, that's inspiring me,
Yeah.
but because it's abstract, I will draw an abstract tree, whereas you would probably do more of still life. It's very interesting for me to hear this,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Different
it's-
artists look at things differently. Everyone
absolutely.
sees through their own
Yeah,
through their own mind.
Through their own eyes and mind, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
through their own eyes. And that's what makes art such a wonderful thing, is that no two artists are really exactly the same. And I
Exactly.
think that's a good thing, and I think it's on purpose. I don't think anybody would want to be exactly the same as somebody else.
Of course not. I
And-
mean, how would you have, Picasso or Renoir?
I was just going to say, because it is coming from our mind,
Right.
as our show would say, in the artist's mind, inside. So your mind and my mind are not going to work exactly the same way as everybody. We're all individuals, but you're able to express it through your art. Whereas even a singer that writes original songs, they're expressing what they're able to do. It's the same
Exactly.
thing.
Add something here, bring a little science into art. I've always heard that still life artists are creating their art from the right side of their brain, the more common sense side, whereas abstract artists are thinking from the left side of their brain, which deals with abstract. Have you heard anything to that effect?
I have, yes. And I, myself, I feel like I am a left brain person, but I do have a lot of right brain tendencies. So, I like math and sciences, and I'm a very, some might or might not agree that I'm a very logical person, but I tend to think I'm a logical person, but I am an artist also. I'm a business owner as well as an artist.
I
So
didn't want to make this show Bill Nye the Science Guy, but I thought that was an important point.
yeah, Bill Nye, the science guy. Yes, I mean, so I think in general, left brain and right brain, as they say, right, left brain is
It's
usually art.
Yes.
Yes.
You're
It's
saying
art.
that. I have actually not heard. I just paint. So, but I'm not logic in a way. I don't like math. I don't like
Yeah.
anything that I have to really think about. Whereas art, I guess, is coming from
Exactly.
my
There-
left side, which you are very aware of, Steve. I know that.
And getting to your art, if I may ask you a question, when you started about 20 years ago, you started off quite juvenile.
Right.
in technique, and then you changed to historical, paintings and then alien paintings.
I did.
And then, for instance, now you're into abstract. And over the years, what caused you to make the changes? How did you morph into these?
Just where I was coming from my mind, I think, as we were just talking about it. And it's interesting for me to hear. I love doing this, and I'd love to hear what both of you, where you're coming from, because honestly, with my art, having not had a lesson, I didn't know what I was about to draw, but I was drawing or painting. So it's very interesting to me. It's obviously coming from my left brain,
Right.
side of the brain. But that's,
Right.
thank you for that question, because it's hard for me to answer that, but I think it's where, as I would say with most artists, if you'd agree with me, it's where we are in our life. We put
Exactly.
onto canvas or whatever we are.
We reflect what
That's
we're
what I'm-
living.
Right, exactly.
And I really, truly believe that. In whatever type of art or performance or whatever you do, it reflects you in your life.
I believe so too.
Have you been painting since you were a child, right?
Yes, I have been painting and drawing since I was a child. I always loved it, but I was always a perfectionist. And my mom says that I would draw something, erase it, draw, and I would sit there focused on that for a very long time as a young child. And as I grew, I had classical training, but not mostly in school. We didn't take outside lessons really. I mean, a class here and there, but I wasn't trying to become an artist. My parents
Right.
didn't focus on my art.
Right. A lot of artists I talk to are not professionally trained
Right.
at school. I'm not.
Right.
No, and I'm
And,
not either.
So a lot of artists are just artists because they're artists, and that's what they do.
But one thing I do notice is that a lot of people when they see my art or they say, "Oh, I could never do that," and they look at it and say, "You're so talented," or whatever what have you. They don't understand that it is a skill. So art,
It is.
painting, drawing, it's just like picking up a pencil and writing the alphabet. It's a skill. You practice it, you get
Exactly.
better all the time, and that's how you learn. I mean, my first paintings didn't look like that.
Exactly. You learn it
Right.
as you go. I mean,
Mine
I'm
was-
a retired art teacher.
Right.
And I know from my experience that the students do not automatically come in with all these skills that they need to make
Exactly.
but
exactly.
there are students who have a gift, and those are the ones who excel more because they want to go further.
Can I just
How often do you
intervene?
get students that excel to a higher level?
Not as often as you would think. I probably would say I had maybe 10% of my students would really be above and beyond
Right.
what I did, and that was about normal. But those are the students who really wanted to do something with their
Can I
life.
just intervene slightly here, because I did not know that I could paint. In fact, when I was in school, just to talk to the audience, because there may be people listening to this thinking, can I do this? I would say, if you feel that you can, make a start, because as you can see, you've seen my beginning of paintings, I was scribbling, and then it turned into something, and I was already quite old. It was only about 20 years ago, but something said to me, this looks like something. So to give people like the incentive, if they're scribbling and it looks like something, and you're an art teacher, so you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, but I then began to paint because I felt I was getting a feeling. I was enjoying
Right,
what I was
right,
doing.
and that's
So
the-
many people can start without even knowing that they
Yeah.
can paint, right?
I mean, if you are starting to do artwork and you hate doing artwork, don't do artwork. That's all. That's all.
Well,
I
it's
can
a say, yeah,
say.
absolutely. It's just, I can't sing, so I
You
know not
well,
to
that's,
sing.
That's like me too. I can't sing, so I don't sing.
Yeah.
I believe anything you do, if you do it with
Passion, yes. That word
You-
comes to me a lot, Michelle. If you
Passion.
have passion behind it, you will
Exactly.
succeed, right?
Exactly. You
Yeah,
will never.
absolutely.
I mean, it's cliche, but
But no, it's true.
Yes.
I'm realizing that, because I mean, so many people have a 9-to-5 job, but they feel like they want to do something else.
exactly.
And whatever you feel you want to do, at least try it, I mean, it might
Yeah.
not be that you want to make a profession out of it, but I do believe, and I like to encourage people with that, try what you feel that you want to do.
I
It's
agree.
important, right?
I agree
Right,
exactly,
right.
100%.
Yep, yep.
Because if you are an artist, and if you're tuning into this show right now, you are interested in art or as an artist.
Absolutely, yes.
Or know someone who is.
Mhm.
Of course, you want to tell them. Some people look at it. You've either got talent or you don't have talent.
No,
and it's not.
It's not, and there's
about
no age
talent.
limit on this.
Yeah.
I believe, and I heard many years ago, Grandma Moses, I think her
Yes,
name is.
yes.
Well, she was in her 60s
60
Yeah.
when
when
she
started.
started. So
Right.
there
Yes,
is, and that actually motivated me,
and I
because I
can-
was up there, and I said, you know what, if she can
Yeah.
do it, I'm going to give this
I
a shot.
I know. I
Right.
can relate to that too because
Right.
I was in my 60s before I ever started doing colored pencil.
And I was in my
and-
60s when I first started.
Okay.
So there you
So,
go. 60 is
You
a
know,
magic number.
You're never too
Never
old
too
to do
young or
this,
too
and,
old, right?
And you can always just keep practicing, and if you still have a passion for it, don't give up.
Yes, I mean, I actually heard something about Sharon Stone.
Yeah, Sharon
Yes.
Stone. Yeah, I think you told me
I
that
did
the other
mention
day.
this the other
She
day
was,
because I saw Sharon Stone. If you're watching this, I think you're amazing. And she said she was too old to be a sex symbol at 65.
Right.
And I said, "What?" First of all, that's okay, but she began her art career.
So
I
age should
guess.
never deter you from what you feel you want
But
to
I
do.
also believe
right?
Sharon Stone is not too old to be a sex symbol at
no,
65.
no.
And I think she can inspire people both ways. You know,
It-
I that was something that really touched me because as just a human being, you are never too old to do anything. You
Exactly.
are never too old to be a sex symbol. You're never too old to be to live the dreams that could have been.
And even as you had mentioned, you did modeling. I did modeling many years ago too. And if you look today and you see like the commercials or people that are, I didn't do runway because I wasn't tall enough, but I did photographic modeling. And you look today and anybody at any age can be a model because
Yeah.
if you look at the difference, how it's changed, if you look at the commercials,
Oh.
there's so many different body types, so many different faces.
Exactly.
But that's encouragement. It's just we're talking painting and art, but it's no different.
Exactly.
Do
It's-
what you
it's
feel you have your
all-inclusive.
passion.
and,
Exactly.
and there's so much now on social media with people doing body shaming and everything else where they say that some people, shouldn't be doing this or they shouldn't be. If it makes you happy, who cares?
Exactly.
There's no right or wrong, right?
Follow your passion.
And I think we're just going to take a break for a commercial, so please stay tuned and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Ant Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Looking for art to add to your collection? Well, look no further. Here at Ant Media Studios, we house tons of art, ranging from abstract paintings to realistic portraits. Come on in and find the art that fits your home. Any and all art is up for sale, so pick yours up today. Stop by at 2400 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Boca Raton, Florida 33431. See you there!
Welcome back to Inside the Artist's Mind with Jay Harmon and Sally Barnard. To be a part of the conversation, call 888-994-4995, Studio A. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Inside the Artist's Mind. And today our special guest is Michelle Chin, and she is an artist, an actress, and she has very many talents that a singer, correct?
So we have a few minutes
and,
left.
are you a
and-
dancer
Sure.
also?
I do dancing. I mean, but I like to express myself in different ways. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm an all-around artist, I believe, but mainly my passions
Okay.
are
Well,
acting and.
Today we are here pretty much to talk about your artwork and your inspirations for your artwork. How do you come about when you're going to do a picture? How does this happen? Where do you get this?
Well, I'm not always inspired. I must say I get up. I a lot of the times it's a minuscule idea in my mind. Sometimes it's very tiny. Sometimes I will know that I want to do this. It's almost like a little voice in the back of my head, and it says, "Your
And I-
next painting
Yep.
will be."
To
this."
do with the same subject here, a quick
Yes.
question too. If you're painting and you're painting something that you've seen, but now we turn it around and you're an actress or a singer, right? Which is beautiful. I wish I could do the singing part, absolutely. Do you get inspiration to paint something while you're singing?
Yes.
Good.
You know, that's a wonderful question.
Yeah,
because
it's-
I think
it's
it all
interesting.
it when
Ties
when I do one thing, I believe I get very focused. So if I have a script I need to perform or learn, sometimes I will use other methods. I'll play music in the background. I will sing, and sometimes I sing my lines as
I
an
was going to ask
actor.
you that, if you sing
Yeah.
while you're painting.
Yeah, and as a painter, it's interesting. I don't always. I keep pretty quiet as when I paint.
That's why our show is in the artist's mind.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You
But
have
do
a
you
lot of-
have anything that you have on, like in the background, for inspiration? I always try to have some sort of music on. It's whatever I'm in the mood for, or whatever I'm trying to accomplish. To
sometimes
make
that mood.
a picture,
yes.
I have to. it helps my mood.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting though because a lot of times I don't. When I paint, I I it's a blank canvas sometimes for me. So if music is playing in the background and if I choose the music, I can inspire myself in some ways, yes, but I don't always do it. Sometimes,
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Okay, and
Yeah.
do you listen to maybe different kind of music? Because I know myself, if I'm working on a different type of picture, sometimes I will listen to classical. Sometimes I'll listen even to country. I'll listen to oldies. I'll listen to anything, whatever I feel will portray what I'm trying to accomplish on
That's
my
very
artwork.
interesting. I love music. I love all types of music, and I know lyrics to literally hundreds of songs.
I can
and
relate.
you
I,
as
we both
Sally,
can
yes,
relate to that.
Exactly. I know you
As
told me.
Steve too. Actually.
Yeah,
yes.
the same. I mean,
Yeah.
I can sing all those songs.
Me
and
too.
And
And
if
every
a song
word,
gets
right?
in my head, then it will play.
Right.
Until I get it out. So but I sometimes do listen to music to get inspired. I depending on the mood, of course. Yes, I will.
So
put
if you're
something on.
acting, this is very intriguing to me because it is what's going on in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing, you do plays or you act on the
I
stage?
do film commercials. I do commercials.
So would you, this is, I mean, you may or may not have the answer to this, I don't know, but as you're, whatever it is that you're, or a commercial, would you find that that would still be going on in your head as you start, if you're doing the same thing, one day you're acting and then you're painting, would what you've been talking about, because it is going out to an audience, would that be in your mind to start painting, say, if it's a commercial or if it's a play about a forest, let's say, or something, would you be drawing trees? I'm not sure exactly how to
you know what,
present this question, but
definitely, I'm influenced by my
environment.
yes, I mean, yes, I can be influenced by my environment, and I think that's why it's very important to surround yourself with a good environment.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, very
and
important.
It is, because I've had some acting experience myself. I have a degree in theater, and so I've had some acting experience, and I know from my experience that when you take on a role, that you really pretty much become who that person is that you're trying to portray, and it's not always who you are.
Right.
And so I think it's the same with art. It's not always who you really are, but you still come through in it. And any character that you become, I think that there's still part of you in that character.
Oh yes, definitely. You always bring yourself to a character, but create something new as well. So
It
when I
just
build a
expresses-
Something
character,
fresh, something
yes,
new.
And you're expressing it in different forms.
Yes.
You're painting, you're expressing it in art. You're talking, you may be expressing that in your acting. And if
Exactly.
you're singing, you're expressing it
Singing,
in your
they're-
singing. So it's all
exactly.
related, isn't it?
Singers
Yeah.
express themselves through their song, but it's
Absolutely.
them singing, and you know their style, but they're expressing themselves through their music.
right.
Interesting, very
Yeah.
interesting. Because this show is actually helping me take a look at what we all do. It's very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think when I build a character, say as an actress, when I build a character, sometimes I do look at what type of music my character likes, and I'll marry that with the music that I like, of course, and it'll
Okay.
enhance
And you could
my
probably
character.
flesh that out more and even think what kind of artwork that character
Exactly.
would
I
like,
mean,
Including
right?
the colors too
The
that
colors.
you put.
I mean,
Colors
what-
is important.
What kind
right?
of
Yeah.
what kind of mood
have
would
one
they really like?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we have one more minute, but that was a very, very interesting. Something to think about.
Yeah.
But definitely colors. I see that. Yes. So I think we're coming to the end of the
Okay.
show.
Well, anyway, we want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and this is Inside the Artist's Mind, and we would sure love to hear from you. And please contact us at 1-888-994-4995, and we are going to be talking to different artists in any type of art, if it's going to be visual art or
Acting?
performance art or singing, or if you play the piano, if you are a musician of any type, we would love to talk to you on this show.
And on a final note, it's all called art. If you
It's
think
all
about
art.
everyone, a
It's
singer,
all
and
under the
it's all,
umbrella
we're
of
all
art, so.
artists. And then that incorporates every one of what you were just talking about.
Exactly.
So, bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, so thank you, and we will see you again next week.
There we go.
Thank you for watching Inside the Artist's Mind. We hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week as we explore more about the artist's passions and inspirations.